here beachside on a Friday afternoon here in Ventura, California. It's day 1 of 3 of competition here at the Ventura County Fairgrounds. It's X Games Ventura 2024 presented by Sonic. You couldn't ask for a better backdrop to hand out some X Games hardware. This is Women's BMX Park here on the Sonic Park course. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the booth, or what we're lovingly calling the Sonic drive-thru here. My name's Jimmy Coleman. As always, with me on this journey, Scotty Kramer. We have a special guest here today. We're putting Angie Marino to work out here today. You're a little banged up. We'd love to see you riding out the field here today. However, you get to tell some stories with us here today. Welcome to the booth.
Thank you. Wish I could be riding, but it's so incredible that this is the first ever women's BMX event, and I can't wait to watch all of my friends ride today.
Well, let's tell some stories and talk about who to watch for. Scotty, Hannah Roberts, she's a heavy favorite. She's a 5-time world champion.
Absolutely. She is such an amazing rider, and it's crazy to think she's had such a long BMX career, but she's only 22 years old. But she has just been dominating over the years with so many amazing tricks, and I am expecting her to be close to the top of the podium today.
Well, Angie, for one of your standouts, we're talking about Perez Benegas. She is the 2023 Nora Cup Women's Rider of the Year.
Yeah, Perez Benegas is such a powerful rider. She actually started doing Muay Thai, and I think that has just made her such a dedicated rider to the sport, and I'm so excited to watch her do some big transfers today. And
well, there's a couple of names to watch for. We get the luxury of calling the action up here in the booth right now. Let's send it down to the field with the 4th member of our team, Kristen B.
Thanks so much, Jimmy. In the last 5 months, 5 women's disciplines have been added to the X Games. And today, as you can tell, Women's BMX Park is making its long-awaited debut. Leading the charge, the 5-time world champ, Hannah Roberts. Now, I had a chance to sit down and talk with Hannah, and she said, having watched the X Games growing up, it's now a dream come true to be able to compete. And Jimmy, really for all of these women here today, they've worked their entire lives, their entire career towards opportunities like this to put the sport and the athleticism on the main stage.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, this has been a long time coming. I mean, they've been here at the X Games, but it's been a demo. I mean, we had demos a couple of years when we were in Minneapolis. Obviously, we didn't do a summer edition of X Games in 2020. So to have this be a medaled event out here today, this is a huge deal. Now, we talked about Hannah and we talked about Paris. There are 10 riders in the field out here today. For either one of you guys, any other standouts that you want to talk about here before we get started?
I think Macarena Perez is definitely a big standout. I saw her riding practice yesterday, and she was absolutely killing it. She has so much flow and so much style, so I'm excited to see what she comes out with today.
Yeah, for me, I got my eye on Nikita as well. She's been evolving so much with her riding, her ability to ride the whole course, and she's so well-rounded. She's got so many tricks and trick combinations, so I think this course could be really good for her as well.
Well, there's an epic shot of the Sonic Park course right here. You got a lot of options to choose from here, lots of transitions here. You see you got the Sonic Cherry Limeade right there on the volcano hip right there. We're sitting kind of in the back over there in that awning on what we call the drive-thru, which is a bit of a wind tunnel right now. But I mean, great job to California Parks crew for the job, skate parks crew for the job they did on this course. And I'm really excited. I'm excited that this is the first medaled event of the weekend.
It's a really big thing, and you could just tell by all the riders that are on the deck right now, this is a huge moment for the women, and I'm so excited that we get to watch this one live.
We started off with Corey Coffey from just up the road in Ojai, California. Now, she came into this one. She was coming here as a spectator. She wasn't planning on riding, and then after some people had to withdraw with some injuries, she now finds herself in the contest. And, well, Angie and Scotty, she has to set the bar out here today because she is our first competitor to drop.
Yeah, Corey is one of the legends of our sport. She is actually the first woman to do a backflip, and it's really cool to have her out here and be a part of this weekend.
She has 3 daughters, Ellie, Coco, and Jovi, that are all here in the crowd out here. They actually grew up riding in Ventura at the iconic Skate Street Skate Park, which is unfortunately no longer around, but she is in. These runs are 45 seconds in length. You get 3 of them. It's the best run that counts, and we are underway with the first ever X Games Women BMX Park.
I'm so jealous that Corey got to ride the Skate Ventura, because I always wanted to go to that park. It was such an amazing skate park. That was like one that was on my list to go and ride, but yeah, it's not there anymore, which is a bummer. But awesome to have Corey riding out here today. And as you said, she did the first backflip on women's in BMX, which is so cool. And here we are all these years later, and now she gets to ride in her first X Games. Like, that's such a huge moment for her.
Yeah, I agree.
So now today, because it's very windy out, I just want to point that one. So we are battling the wind on this one. So I think a lot of the riders too, I'm curious to see how they approach this one with their riding, because the box jump, it's going to be scary to hit. The wind is going to be hitting from the side. Angie, you know this just as well as anybody on bikes. Like, it's not fun riding in the wind at all.
No, not at all. I think definitely, I hope some girls throw some 360s, because sometimes I know if you threw the box, it's like more safe than jumping it straight. So.
Yeah, you're able to cut through the wind, you know, having the wind, you know, hit every part of your body instead of just one side of your bike. That definitely makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So they're working off of a 100-point scale out here, so Corey's going to check in with a 38 right there. But again, coming into this thing for the weekend thinking you're going to hang out in the bleachers and you're going to watch, and then you find yourself out here in the show. Way to go, and welcome to the X Games, Corey Coffey. We turn our attention now to Nina Buitrago. She's another legend and pioneer of women's BMX park.
Yeah, Nina actually, she was a big street rider in the beginning, and she's been advocating for women's BMX for so long. So I know this weekend is such a big moment for her, just to be here and be able to compete.
Absolutely. I mean, she was one of the first, I mean, that I remember seeing in women's BMX. So to have her here at the X Games in 2024, all these years later, it's really a magical moment. And she's coming into this a little bit injured. She's got 6 stitches that are currently in her elbow. She has some bruised lungs as well. She had a crash in practice, but she did not want to miss this moment. So seeing her on the course, being able to represent women's BMX is so cool to see. And there you go, a signature Nina move, the one-handed double peg grind. I'm glad that we were able to put this one on the big stage.
She's worked with X Games for years, helping to get women's BMX park added to the schedule. She was a volunteer all the way back in 2004, and then also working with different nonprofits like Girl Riders Oregon. These girls get on board.
Yeah, but Nina riding this course, especially with so much transition, when she's able to get her double peg grinds in, like it's a really good course for her, and she is battling this one injured. So it's just happy to see her being able to be on the course today riding for everyone.
That'll put her in the top spot there with a 49.33, so she managed to put that one together, got a full 45 seconds on the board right there. We move on to the next rider in the lineup here. This is Teresa Fernandez Miranda, all the way from Castellón, Spain.
Teresa is such a stylish rider. She grew up riding with Sergio Leos, another really steezy rider, so I think a lot of his riding has really shown through hers, and she's another one who does big transfers and just goes really high in the bowl.
Yeah, I totally agree. When I see Teresa ride, there is definitely a little bit of Sergio that comes out there. Ooh,
that was a good save right there.
But I think that goes back to what we were saying earlier with the box jump and this wind right there. So if you're on a bike, imagine with the wheels being sideways, those wheels act like a sail. So when the bike's getting blown out from underneath of you, when you have that sail under you, it's hard to be able to confidently do your tricks. So I think that's what went wrong on that.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like she got caught by the wind just a little bit on the box.
Yeah, but look at this transfer she did over that hit
so
right
fun.
there. It does look really fun. But this is where things went a little crazy. Yeah, she kind of lost the bike right there underneath her. And that's, like, you don't see that happen with Teresa. So I'm very confident to say that the wind played a factor in here.
Looked like that right foot kind of caught the top tube, but she was coming back across as well. Good save, though. That could have been nasty, but she rode away from that one and managed to hang on. Again, it's the first round of runs. She's going to check in with a 56.33, so that'll put her in the top spot despite the slip up there. So again, this is how it works. As I just mentioned, we're in round 1. They're going to get 3 rounds. The runs are 45 seconds in length. We're working off of a 100-point scale, and the beauty of this, it's your best run that counts. So if you got a little bit of nerves, you get a little jittery here in this opening round, you've got 3 attempts at it to try to put yourself out here on the first ever women's BMX park podium at the X Games. As we move our attention now to our first German competitor, this is Kim Muller.
Kim is such a powerful rider. She's really progressed a lot in the past couple of years. It's been amazing to watch her ride. She's like really pushing it for women's BMX.
Yeah, she's been putting a ton of work in, like outside of the competitions, you know, learning all these tricks. I follow her on Instagram and I see her doing, like, just constantly evolving with her riding. I mean, she started things off with that 360 can over the box, which is such a big trick. And whenever she does her trick, she commits to it. But I think that was a really good angle to show just how windy it was. You see how her bike like moved over, Ange?
Yep. That's what I mean. Doing 360s is definitely a little bit safer than jumping it straight and doing tricks.
Yeah, I would highly recommend these riders to be careful, you know, because this is the X Games. You want to do your tricks. You want to do exactly what's on your mind, but sometimes you have to, you know, decide on the risk and the reward of which tricks are actually going to be able to go over the box jump safely.
So a full outing here for Kim in round number one. Did you see the foot plant on the Sonic sign as well? It's kind of hard to see in the sunlight here on the monitor. Look at this.
Wow, look at that extension right there. But the 360, it worked way better than the straight jump so far.
There it was. Look, she got the top part of the sign right there. That's scary if you miss that. That's a heck of a drop on the other side. So our top score right now, 56.33. Look at the gap right there. She's in the 80s with an 84 flat. That is a monster score right there for Kim Miller. Well done. Again, round one out of three. We're just getting started here. From Sonoma, California, we take our first look at Nikita Ducarroz. She got a bronze medal in women's BMX park at the Tokyo Olympics.
Nikita is a really big advocate for mental health. You know, probably like a few years ago, Nikita was so scared to get on an airplane, and now she's traveling the world competing.
Yeah, it's really cool to see all the progress that she's making, and her confidence shows in her riding as well.
Yeah, she's actually got an Instagram group called Mind Tricks, which is an outlet for athletes to share stories about mental health. Started riding when she was 11 to help curb her anxiety.
Yeah, it was really wild. Her parents used to drive her around in a RV, and they would travel and go to all these like little events and take her to places, and then she finally got an airplane in.
Yeah, and look at her, she's a world traveler. She's done it all. I mean, she's competed all over the world. And just over the years, her riding, it's getting better every time I see her. Like, I mean, she's constantly going higher. She's got more tricks. She's got different trick combinations. I mean, I think she is such a well-rounded rider. I mean, I think she's at the top when you go over, like, all the other female riders. You have the tricks, you have the style, you have the ability to push through and bring the power to the chorus, and I think she is so evenly matched across the board.
Yeah, I remember in like 2017 or 2018, she was doing fly-out backflips, and now she's doing flip combos over the boxes.
Yeah. It's a really good run though right there.
Look at the support that they're getting from the fans here at day one on the grandstands on the edge of the Sonic Park course here. We take another look here at Nikita's first run.
Yeah, sending that 360 over the box. But look at that, tuck no hander over that hip, you know, spreading those arms. She is making it picture perfect right there.
Fans are loving it.
They really are, that's cool.
It's awesome when they make the homemade signs and they're out here with the different country flags and fans weighing in. Big respect to Nikita, keep crushing it. All the women in the field, as I said at the top of the show, I mean, this one's been a long time coming. I mean, we had multiple women's BMX park demos when we were at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. So to have this be a medaled event finally here in 2024 and the first medaled event of the weekend, I mean, this is a big deal, and I'm proud to be a part of it, and actually very happy to have you in the booth on this journey with us, Angie.
Thank you. I'm stoked to be a part of it still, and I just, honestly, I'm so happy for all my friends.
So look at that, another score in the 80s, an 80 flat. So now it's Kim Miller followed by Nikita Ducarroz. So there are your top two scores right there with scores in the 80s as we take our first look at another German competitor here. This is Lara Lesman.
Germans love doing that little foot plant wall ride.
Very popular trick in Germany, apparently. Well, one thing I want to point out about Laura is if you guys watch her feet, you can see she's left foot forward, but she just switched it to right foot. And she does it for strategic different tricks and different hits. And you'll see that multiple times through her run. I was actually talking to her about it yesterday. She was listing the tricks that she does left foot forward compared to right foot forward. And I was really surprised to hear which ones were actually right foot compared to left foot. But keep an eye on it.
Oh, that was a sick crank flip.
Yeah, nice crank flip. And that, I know she goes right foot forward on when she does crank flips, which is really interesting to me. But really cool to see all the original and different styles in BMX.
I agree. I always get so jealous of people who are goofy-footed. They have the best look backs and turn downs.
Absolutely. It's when you take advantage of doing those certain tricks for a goofy-footed rider. And when we're talking about goofy-footed riders, for everyone out there, if you spin to your front foot, so you can see how she was left foot forward. So if she spins to the left, that would mean goofy-footed for a spin. And that goes either way for right or left.
See the foot plant on the Sonic sign to can out? I didn't catch that at real-time speed there. Nicely done. Okay, so what's it going to be here for her first round score? She says Drew Bezansen's been a positive mentor for her throughout her riding career. So she's going to be a 73.66. So that'll slide her into bronze medal contention as of right now. So your top 3 scores, an 84, an 80 flat, and a 73.66. Before we get to our next competitor, let's check in one more time with Kristen about the wind out there on the course.
Yeah, Scotty, you mentioned that the wind may affect some of the riders out here. And I talked to Natalia Diehm, who's getting ready to drop in. She told me she's actually adjusted her run because of the wind. She said that the wind, it just grabs the rear tires. Scotty, on a bike, how does that affect the rider?
Your confidence just goes out the window for when you're like approaching something, because everything we do is dangerous and everything has to be well thought out. But when you have that other factor, it's miserable. But just like, I'm glad that Kristen was able to speak with the riders and know that they're actually changing the runs. But Natalia, though, is ripping up this course, Angie. Look how high she's going.
Yeah, Natalia is a very good technical rider. She grew up riding in cement park, so I think this park she'll really shine on this park this week.
Yeah, when I saw her in practice, I couldn't believe how high she was going doing her tabletops. And from over the years, I remember at the Vans Pro Cup, you get to see she has even more confidence on the bike, and her tricks are she's holding them longer, she's going higher, and it's really cool to see. Ooh, right at the buzzer there. But you can see her whole run, she fully covered the course. She rode every aspect of it, and I know that that's something the judges are definitely going to appreciate. Nice tire grab over the hip there. Ooh, beautiful tuck no-hander.
Her tuck airs are so nice.
Yeah, they really are. The way she leans forward, too, into that tuck no-hander, awesome work.
We'll see what the judges think of her first attempt out of 3. We have 3 riders left to go in the run order here. Remember, this is round 1 out of 3. First time ever women's BMX park has been contested here at the X Games. And in 2024, it's happening here on the Sonic Park course. Taking a little while for this score to come in here. Judges having a little bit of a debate about this one, and a 74.33, and that is going to be just enough to put her ahead of Lara Lesman and put her in a bronze medal spot as of right now. However, keep in mind, it is the best run that counts out here today. Reno, Nevada's Perez Benegas. She's known for that flowy style. She likes to go big. Let's see what she can do here on the Sonic Park course.
Perez jumping the box backwards.
And that's scary in the wind right there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that was a really nice can-can transfer.
Look at that transfer. It followed up back-to-back transfer lines there. Good height, had some good flow.
You know, doing a wall ride on that Sonic sign is not easy because the Sonic actually sticks out. It's not completely flat, so.
Yeah, that's a nerve-wracking thing. You want your tires to be pressed up against a wall, and when the letters are sticking out like that, judges are definitely taking note of that. But look at the speed she's bringing around. I mean, Angie, you've known her forever at this point. You've been riding with her over the years. Like, every skate park she shows up to, she rides like this, doesn't she?
She's so powerful. That pocket air was amazing.
Yeah, this one's been a long time coming for me, too, because I used to live in Reno, and she used to go to my friend Gabe Weed's skate park, open ground. And the first time we saw her show up, she was riding with a pack of boys. She was like 10 or 11 years old. So to see her now on the world stage, I mean, I'm so stoked for her.
So cool. But here you can see a look right here on that wall ride. Those letters are sticking out. But yeah, no problem at all for her. She just pushed those wheels into it and landed it easily.
So you need better than a 74.33 if you're going to crack into the top 3 as of right now. We have Macarena Perez coming up next, followed by Hannah Roberts, who we talked about at the top of the show. What did the judges think for Perez's first outing here? Kim Miller still sitting in that top spot with an 84 flat, followed by Nikita Ducarroz with an 80 flat. That's got to be a bit nerve-wracking when you're sitting there just waiting for that score. I mean, you see them all staring. There's a monitor over there, so they're looking at replays, and they're looking at the same thing we are. And Perez puts herself in the top spot. She jumps 1 full point ahead of Kim right there with an 85.
Yeah, that was a really good run. I mean, the way she was bringing that speed around that course, she looked so confident out there. I knew the judges were going to reward her for that.
Well, going back to what you said earlier, too, I mean, confidence is key right now, especially what they're dealing with the wind out here. And we were talking about this earlier. A lot of them pretty nervous about this being the first medal event and waiting so long for this to be an actual medal event here at X Games. As we turn our attention now to Santiago, Chile's Macarena Perez.
Maka's been riding this course so powerfully.
Yeah, look at that transfer she just did from that lower lip over to the hip. But look at it, just led her right into that line as well.
The boost that she had on that and the speed that she's maintaining here in this run.
Over the box jump. Yeah, so she went straight jump on that one.
Looks like she wanted a tuck air.
Yeah, but you could feel that wind like on your side. You're like, this ain't worth it. I'd rather ride this one out and stay control.
I hope we see Maka do a backflip. Maka is one of the best girls who does backflips.
Yeah, she's able to extend that flip and do it so smoothly. But look at that tail. That's the first tail that we saw today, wasn't it?
No, Kim Leah did.
Okay, here I am, losing track already.
So that'll do it for her first attempt. Top 3 scores right now, all in the 80s. You've got an 85, an 84, and an 80 flat as we take a look back to Maka's first attempt.
Wow, over the pocket as well. And she was able to dip that front end down so well.
Yeah, airing a pocket air is difficult in itself, but adding a T-bog in there, that was really nice.
Doesn't look phased at all. So a score of 80.66 for her, so that'll bump Nikita Ducarroz out of the top 3 for now. So Maka just puts herself in a bronze medal contention for the moment. Last rider in the rotation here before we go back up to the top of the order. We talked about her at the top of the show. She's a silver medalist from the Olympics, a 5-time world champion known for big flares and bar spins. This is Hannah Roberts.
Oh, truck driver straight off the rip right there. So the 360 combinations, Hannah is no stranger to. Look at the flare as well. I mean, she's been doing flares for years, Angie, and she's just getting so good at them, and she's landing with so much speed. Look at the speed she's carrying.
I was going to say, the opposite carve that she did out of that coming around that shallow end, I mean, just flying out of there.
Nice whip on the pool coping, that big quarter pipe right there, and she did it a couple feet out of it as well, which is really scary.
I think I filmed one of her first flares back in 2014 at Toronto Jam.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's amazing to see how far she's come with them.
Oh, no doubt about it. But what a good run that Hannah just delivered. And this is the first of 3 runs too, so it's only going to get crazier as they get more comfortable and more confidence on the course.
You know, these runs are so much different than what we're usually used to. Normally we ride like 1-minute runs and you get 2 runs. So for X Games, it's 3 runs at 45 seconds.
Get our first official X Games mode meter right there.
Yeah, I think the flare will do that.
You guys can react by typing W in Twitch or YouTube chat if you want to be part of X Games mode throughout the weekend here in Ventura. What is it going to be for attempt number 1 for Hannah Roberts? It's Perez. Benegas sitting at the top spot right now with that 85 flat. This is round 1, still 2 more rounds to go. It is the best run that counts. And she checks in with a 90. We are officially into the 90s.
No surprise there.
Yeah, that was a really good run. I knew it was going to be a high.
So at the end of round 1, it's Hannah Roberts in the top spot with a 90 flat. Well, the women's BMX scene continues to grow here at X Games and has even gained a member from the U.S. Army. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Morgan Brady, is not only active duty, but also finds time to race BMX. Let's hear more about her story in this U.S. Army Soldier Spotlight.
Morgan, 24 years of service, you're still on active duty, you're also a mom, and you race BMX. How do you balance all of that?
It's definitely a challenge, but I think, you know, living life to its fullest and just enjoying the moment really is just what life's about.
What made you fall in love with BMX riding?
My kids. So my son started at the age of 5. He wanted to go out to the track and experience it. We had some amazing lady riders out there that convinced me to get on a bike, and that's kind of the start of it.
How did your time in the military influence your BMX racing?
I've been able to use that level of resiliency and focus and determination that the Army gives us to my advantage on the track. I'm just here to tell my story, to let people see kind of what the life of a soldier can be and just, you know, be out here to experience all this.
was our U.S. Army Soldier Spotlight. Things are moving on into round 2 here on the Sonic Park course. First time women's BMX park has ever been contested here at the X Games. We go into round 2, 3 rounds of runs. It's the best run that counts. And after that first round, Hannah Roberts, everybody said she was a heavy favorite, and she blasted that first round score into the 90s. And again, the story that we've been telling thus far is that wind, and everyone seemed to be managing quite well despite the wind and putting down complete runs. We go back up to the top of the order, and we bring back in Corey Coffey.
So Corey Coffey, like I was saying earlier, she has been such a staple in women's BMX for so long, and we're so happy to have her on the course. Now, she was actually a late entry into this competition, so she just got on the course yesterday to get practicing, and I think as she's riding, she's going to build more confidence too, because she's still learning this course. But it's so good to see her jumping that box jump. Like we said earlier in the broadcast, she did the first backflip in women's BMX history, and so cool to see her riding today. But that was a really scary lip slide.
She almost lost on the pocket air.
Yeah, just the mindset alone to come to this thing thinking you're going to be a spectator and hang out, and then all of a sudden like, oh wait, I'm in, and then you, like you just said, you have to get out here and you have to learn the course and put something together in a relatively short amount of time. But I mean, what an awesome moment for her, and especially with her 3 daughters in the stands out here today as well.
Yeah, I think she only got an hour of practice yesterday.
1 hour. You get the call and it's like, oh, all right, I'm sure she's not complaining one bit about it right now. Trying to build on that 38 that she had in the first round. Grew up in nearby Ojai, just up the 101, now lives in Detroit. Got a big crew of family here in town cheering her on this weekend in X Games Ventura 2024. We move on to Port Washington, New York's Nina Buitrago. Sitting in that number 9 position right now with that 49.33 from round 1.
So stoked that Nina's able to ride today.
Yeah, we need to talk about that injury even more. Like, she has bruised lungs. There is nothing comfortable about riding with anything bruised in your midsection there. And she also has 6 stitches in her elbow. So
yeah.
this is a huge moment for her to be on this course under the biggest lights. And, you know, she's still doing tricks. She's doing Nina's specific tricks as well. I would love if we can get another one-handed grind right here. Oh, she's going for it over that channel. That would be huge.
She was doing it in practice. I hope she gets it.
Yeah, the lean is so important on that grind to be able to make it all the way across, especially on that pull open.
Bacon Shredder weighing in on social media. Way to power through those stitches. Nice run, Nina. Yeah, I mean, just to go through all, I'm guessing that there was no way you were getting her off that course. They would have had to drag her out of here. Like, you get this opportunity, stitches, lungs not 100%, don't care, staying right here.
Yeah, you can see the bandage that's on her left arm. That's where the stitches are. And she's got her elbow pad over the top of it. I'm sure the doctors that put them in there did not expect her to be riding X Games today.
Listen, she's smiling right now, and that is the most important thing. She's put 2 complete runs together. She's got a smile on her face. Enjoy the moment, Nina. You still have 1 more run to go. We bring back in Teresa Fernandez Miranda.
Yeah, especially on the, that's a lip-to-lip setup right there, because you can see the coping right there, so that is scary. That's not just a regular box jump.
This is a great run starting off so far for Teresa.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think that as this competition goes on, I think everybody's going to get more and more comfortable. Switched out that no for the can-can for the toboggan that time. So get straight into that big tabletop. But you've been riding with Teresa for years, and she's always bringing this kind of power to every course that she rides.
Yeah, she always blasts these quarters.
But a lot of different trick combinations, too, compared to run number 1 for her. So nice transfer up in there.
Like you said, I feel like that first run, everybody's getting their nerves out, so I think we'll see more coming into these 2nd and 3rd runs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is the first time that women's BMX is going to get an X Games medal. Of course there's going to be nerves out there.
Just the pressure alone. It's like you come here and you know it's a medal event, but then like you get here and it's just the cameras are on and you've got all these people in the stands, and all of a sudden it's like it's for real. It's like you just got to get one out of the way and be like, okay, I've settled in, now let's get down to business.
Yeah, but clearly look at run number 2 here. All these replays have been fully clicked. You know, she's got that big toboggan over the box. That turn down was huge. That was over that double-sided box.
I think my favorite was the big old tuck from the coping to coping box jump.
Yeah.
Well, she was in the mid-50s. She had a 56.33, so she bumps up that girl on. She's going to end up with a 71, which will put her in that number 7 position as of right now as we take our second look at Germany's Kim Mueller. She was in the top spot.
Wow.
Oh, that was a big trick. She just upped it from run number 1 right there. She did the tire grab can-can. That trick is no joke. Oh, she made it look so good, too.
I was going to say, before that happened, I was going to say she was in the top spot. She now finds herself in a bronze medal position. Look at the speed coming over.
You know, I've been seeing Kim do so many 3 whips, and I'm really hoping that she pulls them out this weekend.
In the wind, it's so scary, though. But yeah, it's X Games, though. I wouldn't doubt it if she sent it. I mean, she does it so clean, though, when I've seen her do it on her Instagram. But look at all the tricks she was able to get.
Squeaks that bar spin in right before the buzzer there. So an 84 flat the first go around. She's looking at a medal right now. Take a look at this. The can-can in the 360 with the tire grab.
Like, that was so good. That was so good. I love how she's able to like turn the bike sideways and reach for it. And like, if you watch her foot has been like consistently at the top of that Sonic board.
Yeah, there's like a weird little V spot right there. She gets her foot right there in the sweet spot. But as I said earlier, if you slip and you miss that, you're in a bad situation at that point. Let's see what the judges think of this second run.
I've tried tire grab can-cans, and to do it in a 3, I can't even wrap my head around that.
I've never done it before. I'm just going to go and point that out there. That has never been on my trick list. I've had 9 medals. I've invented tricks before. I have never done that trick.
So Hannah Roberts sitting in the top spot. Perez Benegas sitting in the silver medal spot right now with that 85. And just 1 point behind her with that first round score of 84. We'll see if this is going to be an improvement. It's just that moment, that waiting, where you're just sitting there staring at that monitor. This is round 2 out of 3 if you're just joining us here. It is the best run that counts that hopefully puts you on that X Games podium. And it's just such a historical moment because when this is all said and done here today, this is going to be the first set of X Games medals for women's BMX park. So she gets an 84.33, so she's going to bump it up a little bit. That's not going to be enough to overtake Perez right now, so that'll leave her on the podium bubble spot for now. Here comes Nikita Ducarroz. Currently finds herself in that number 5 position, as we'll bring Kristen Beat into the conversation here for Nikita's second run. Kristen?
Yeah, guys, as she's laying down some major tricks right now, I've noticed a lot of the men's BMX competitors are here supporting. Even during practice, Ryan Williams notably was here coaching some of the women. They are just as excited as these ladies are to see them on this main stage.
That just speaks to the personality that is Ryan Williams. I mean, he's just so excited about everybody and everything, and he's the ambassador. I mean, he just wants everyone to succeed and wants to give everyone like the pep talk and the tools to succeed.
And his energy is contagious. It really is. So I'm glad that he's been hanging around, helping. And look at so far the 540.
Right, to do that at the end of your run, and you're kind of out of gas, and on not a very big transition as well.
Okay, I just have to add this too, though. She didn't do that in practice. She was like, I'm just going to send it in my run. That is so savage.
That's the kind of stuff that happens when you get to X Games.
And we still got run number 3.
That's why I love the best run format, because you've got those building blocks, as Daryl now, our live event announcer, likes to say, those extra little toppings.
I think it definitely makes it more exciting. It gives the riders an opportunity to have like a mess up run, and then it doesn't put so much pressure on like, okay, I got to land all 3 of my runs.
Absolutely. 3 runs and best run count is the best setup for BMX, unless you're going to do 4 runs counts. That might even be better, but to fit that in an X Games program, 3 is amazing.
So she's going to stick with that first run score, but the question is, we get to round 3, will she throw that 540 again? I'm going to walk that plank and say, yeah, she was close on that one. Let's see her try that one again in round 3. So it's Roberts, Benegas, and Mueller, your 1, 2, 3 as of right now. Lara Lesman due up for run number 2 here. She sits in 7th with that 73.66.
Crank flip in.
Oh, what an awesome way to start. Those 2 trick combinations are so technical. I mean, for that crank flip in straight to that fast plant to can-can, nice. She's got the tuck this time too.
Oh, I really like that comment. I came back to life to watch this BMX.
I was looking at the comment and I'm trying to figure that out, and then I looked at the name. It said, "I am John Lennon." I was like, okay. So it took me a minute. I was like, where were you?
Oh my goodness.
And then I saw that. But well played. Well played.
Oh, she did 2 crank flips so far in her run, which is really cool to see on the park course. Because, you know, when it comes to park, I mean, street, you'd expect to see the crank flips, but in park, definitely rare to see, and awesome to see her, especially starting out with that crank flip drop, and that is such a cool trick.
It looked like she got caught up in the wind doing the...
yeah, the lip-to-lip.
Yeah.
But look at here is this fast plant to the can-can out. Now, you can watch the can-can is when she kicks her foot over that top tube right there.
The wall ride isn't that high either, so she's got to be quick with it.
No, you're right.
Just foot stomped right on the end in Sonic there. Had a 73.66 run 1. It's got her in that 7th place position as of now. You need it better than an 84.33 if you're going to crack into the medals here. We still have the rest of this run order here, and then we go into round number 3. Got Natalia Diehm on deck here, who we will see next. Wind kind of comes and goes right now. It'll kind of die out for a little bit, and then it gusts up a little bit. You can see the palm trees kind of blowing over there.
Yeah, there's different kind of gusts for sure that are coming through here, and it's hard to read it too. So you might start your runoff when there's no wind, but by the time you get to that box jump, you know, who's going to tell if you're going to be feeling it hitting you from the side there, and that's not a good feeling on a bike.
So she'll bump the score up. That gives her a 76, so that'll move her in. It'll move her up 1 spot. She was in 7th. So now she finds herself in a 6th place position. So moving up the ladder here with 1 more round of runs to go. So nicely done. This is round 2 of the first ever contested women's BMX park event here at the X Games on the Sonic Park course. The end of round 1, it's Hannah Roberts sitting in the driver's seat with that 90 flat, followed by Perez Benegas with an 85 flat. But the battle is far from over. This is Natalia Diehm from Queensland, Australia.
I really hope Natalia throws a downside whip or at least a whip in her run.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see. The one that she did last weekend, she was right on the verge there, but it was able to ride away from it.
She's one of the only girls who can do downside whips right now.
Yeah. And a downside tail for everybody that's not familiar with BMX, so it's like doing a shorter version of the tail whip, and it goes with. So
yes.
Yeah, so that was the full tail whip right there. That wasn't the downside whip that we were just referencing to, but yeah, it would be the shorter version of that one, and she is spinning opposite when she would do the air or the hip. But look at the speed she's bringing in. She's really commanding this course, and she's riding every bit of it. I love how she's pumping around the bowl corners, and I think the judges are going to really like that too.
I was going to say, A+ on the use, of course. I mean, she's really moved around the opposite carbs to build the speed there, and just
it looked like she got a little lost there.
No, so at the end of it right there,
jinx it as soon as I'm saying it.
No, I think that the buzzer went off at that point. I think that we didn't hear that one because I heard her at the end, like she did a big woo at the end. So I think that she was pretty happy with the performance, and she should be. I mean, that tail was so clean.
Straight to pedals.
Yeah.
But she was in 6, she got bumped to 7, so there you go, a 77. So she will return the favor and put herself right back in that number 6 position here in round number 2. As we get down to our final 3 riders in the run order and then get down to the 3rd and final run. Perez Benegas sitting in a silver medal as of right now. Can she catch up to Hannah Roberts?
It just looks like she's like not even trying, and she just drops in, and she just naturally just knows her line. She knows exactly where all the transition is. Oh, I love that transition to that deep ball right there.
Perez is such a flowy rider. so amazing to watch.
But like, and she's so powerful. When we talk about that a lot, the way she approaches every one of these transitions, but she does it like, it looks like she's not even trying though, like the way she commands the course. And it's always been that way. Every time I've seen her touch the course, she just naturally rides that way. It's not forced at all. And yeah, for all the other riders out there that like, you have to work to achieve what she does, but it's just natural for her. So I think on that run, I think a couple things didn't work out for her, like over the box jump. I think she was feeling the wind and she wasn't going to risk it. I think she's saving it for the last run, but she's already in second place.
Yeah, you could hear her talking that over a little bit at the end of the run, but I agree. I think that first run score is going to be the one that stands up here.
I don't know, can I have water?
Yes, Perez, you can have water. That is allowed. So that first run score for her with that 85 flat, again, I mean, for your first time ever competing at the X Games, and then first run out of the gate, you put up an 85, and she's looking at a medal as of right now. We still have round 3 to go. Macarena Perez from Santiago, Chile. She was in the top 3. She's now just on the outside, looking in, sitting in that number 4 spot.
One of the only ones to be blasting that little quarter in the middle.
That's a weird. I was looking at it yesterday, and it's not like a regular quarter pipe. It actually like flattens out, almost like a bank towards the top of it. That big switch carve around that bowl corner. Nice tuck over it this time. Oh, and there's that awesome toboggan we saw on that replay in the first run. Yeah, she's just navigating her way around the course really well, and she's finding like the awkward transitions and somehow airing them really good.
There's that tail whip again, straight to pedals.
And that's right at the end of the run. Another toboggan in there.
She's still going.
Yeah, she might not have heard the buzzer.
Like I said, we're so used to doing a minute long, so.
It feels weird, doesn't it, huh?
45 seconds probably feels so short.
And here's that tuck over the box jump. Perfect. That is picture perfect right there. And here's that tail whip. And like Angie said, she's just finding them pedals. Easy. Easy as could be. Kevin Perez is showing up. Showing love for women's BMX.
So she gets the bump up on the score, the 83. However, that is not going to improve the placing, so that'll leave her in that 4th place position, looking to get it done here in the 3rd and final round. But last rider in the rotation before we go into that 3rd final round, and the only rider sitting in the 90s, it's Hannah Roberts.
She looks so good in that first run. I mean, and she's already in the 90s, right? So, like, what do? Do you wait until the 3rd run to really unleash? No.
I was about to say, she's just going to uncork it, and there you go.
Oh, that flare was absolutely huge. That might have even been higher than the first one.
I agree.
Yeah, Hannah thrives in these, like, situations. She loves the feeling of contest, so I don't think she'll just chill in her runs.
But when she's that good, she's that talented, I mean, doing what she does, this just comes so natural for her. So I guess I was wrong to question what she was going to do. But look at that combination. She just did X up to bar spin out. I love how she does that one. She actually X's up to the left, and then she bar spins out to the right. So it's like a full 1.5 when it comes back around. But look at these replays. Look how high that flare was. That was huge.
Watch the landing. Just perfect.
Yeah, it really was good. Look at that tail whip. And I love how she catches it, and she goes so high that she can actually like catch it and pump the bike back into the transition.
And the back wheel came down right under the coping sticker tape. So she's going to stick with that first round run score, but that smile says it all. She's potentially looking at a gold medal. We will see if that one holds up. Hannah Roberts sitting in the top spot. We've got the 3rd and final round coming up when we return to X Games Ventura 2024. Not a bad day. You get to ride with Kevin Perez and get a photo assist, a Galaxy photo assist with AI right there. And she's looking at a potential medal out here today. As of right now, this is women's BMX Park here on the Sonic Park course. Hannah Roberts sitting in the top spot, followed by Perez, Benegas, and then we've got Kim Muller sitting in that number 3 position as of right now. It is still up for grabs though. 3rd and final round of runs. It's the best run that counts. Who is walking out of here with the hardware? And Hannah Roberts, the only one in the 90s. You need better than an 84.33 to get into the medals. But I mean, what a great time this has been for this to ever be, first time for this to ever be contested here at the X Games, guys. Before we get to that third final round, let's check in with Kristen.
Kevin Perez, the 5-time X Games gold medalist here. Now, you've been coaching some of the women. How have you been advising them?
I'm a friend at the end of the day, and so just sharing my knowledge and sharing just the remembering of why they're out here showcasing women's BMX to the rest of the world, inspiring younger women to get out there and ride as hard as they can. Just sharing kindness, sharing positivity, and allowing them to just relax and enjoy the moment.
Kevin, have some fun. We'll see you a little bit later today even. See ya.
Yes, we will. We'll see a lot of him throughout the course of this weekend as he's competing in multiple events out here. See him in BMX Street a little bit later on tonight, but we still have some business to take care of out here today. Third and final round of runs. We've told this story multiple times, but we're going to tell it again. Corey Coffey came into the weekend thinking, I'm going to hang out, I'm going to watch this event with my daughters. After a couple people had to withdraw due to injury, she now finds herself in the middle of women's BMX Park.
And she's a mom, you know, she's got 3 kids out here, and she has been in BMX for so long. What an awesome story. I mean, I'm just so happy for Corey to be able to show up here, be able to be part of this one. It's just a huge moment for women, a huge moment for Corey, and it really is epic.
Yeah, she came in here. She just wanted to bring her daughters to watch the women's event, and she walked in yesterday, and they were like, hey, do you have your bike? Do you want to ride? Okay, go practice.
I would have loved to have seen that conversation. Is that a real question? Sure. You're in the comp.
Yeah, I can do that. Here she is.
Tell your husband and the kids at that point, hey, here you go. Here's some money for some snacks. I'm going to go practice.
Look at that. What a moment. So happy for her.
Her best run today, 38 flat. But again, I mean, what an epic experience to come in here thinking you're a spectator for the weekend, and then you find yourself in the comp, and then, you know, you have to start it off. You're the first one to drop.
And that is never an easy thing, but you know what? She has been around BMX for so long. She doesn't mind carrying that kind of weight going into this one, and she did fantastic.
She's in the history books. She is the first ever female BMX park competitor at the X Games.
That is pretty amazing. And she's going to know that one. She's going to be proud of that one. See?
See, she knows already. She doesn't need me to tell her. History, baby. You are absolutely right, Corey. Taking our third and final look here at Nina Buitrago, finds herself sitting in that 9th place spot.
Ooh.
On the ledge.
Yeah, across that ledge right there. I mean, the big question is on this one, Angie. I am hoping that Nina is able to get that peg grind across that channel.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Nina's always a rider that she's always like, I want to put my pegs on everything.
Yeah, and she has so many times. There's that one-handed one, so smooth, so cool. I love when she carves and gets that one all steezy. But look at so far, her pegs have been on 95% of the quarter pipes here. And we got to bring it up again. If you look at her left arm, there is a bandage underneath that elbow pad. She has 6 stitches in her arm, and she is still riding. She was not going to miss this competition today. And just so glad that Nina was able to be a part of this one.
I know she really wanted that one.
Yeah. Bruised lungs. Can you imagine that? And then trying to ride. Oh my goodness.
The buzzer sounded. She doesn't want to stop riding.
She might not.
She's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm in a little bit of pain, but who cares? I'll worry about it the rest of the weekend. Let's just focus on this and get through the first day. And there you go. Turned pro when Jay Miron and John Pova added her to McNeil and Etnies back in 2005, and now she finds herself here in 2024 competing in the first ever women's BMX park at the X Games on the Sonic Park course. This is Teresa Fernandez Miranda from Spain.
Whoa. That looked a little wild from our angle. Me and Angie just looked at each other with some crazy eyes. It looked like she kind of like went front and down, but she caught transition really good there.
Boost on that transfer.
Wow. I mean, Teresa, she goes very high, and she is not scared to land front into transitions like that. But that one, it looked a little crazy from this, but like she had control though. She did have control. Nothing against her riding at all. It's just, it was surprising to see from this angle. But look at that can on that big quarter pipe. That is a huge, probably 10-ish, maybe 11-foot pool coping quarter pipe. It's so steep at the top there. Angie, like when you see quarter pipes like that with pool coping, I mean, it wasn't my favorite to ride. How do you feel about it?
I honestly love them. Pool coping, you just have to go fast and you just hold on to the bike. I feel like as opposed to like a mellower quarter, you have to do so much more work.
Yeah, well, you have to have confidence in like using that bump off of that coping. But here's the shot of that. Look at, you can see she did that, but when she started going forward.
Ooh, yeah, she did get a little nose heavy.
But she caught the transition. She was there for it.
I feel like that's Teresa's style though. Like,
I know.
You think that it's scary, but she's in full control and she noses things in.
She knew what she was doing there.
Well, she bumped up a point there from the previous best run score with a 72, not going to improve the placing, so she will stay in 8th place. Moving along now, Kim Muller, she's sitting in a bronze medal spot. She's on that bubble right now.
Yeah, this is
with
a
that
big moment.
84.33. You want to bump that up.
Oh, that was awesome. She did it again.
Yeah, the 3-in-1 combo.
But I was saying, like, someone in her position, she is literally on the bubble. You know, this is history books as well. Who is going to be the first 3 medalists in women's BMX park? Like, I know 84.3, you know, she's right there. But, like, Maka is, like, she's literally 1 point away right here. So she needs everything she has to try to secure her spot on this podium. And so far, she is doing a lot of different tricks.
She is tricking everything she touches right now.
Yeah, like she had a straight jump in her previous runs over the box jump. This time around, she actually 360'd it. What's she gonna end with?
Gets the tip. Oh! Just gets whiplashed out of that one. That was right at the buzzer. We'll see how that fares. I mean, the difference right now between her and Maka, I mean, it's 0.3 of a point. Or, 1 point and 0.3.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's that close of a margin.
Oh, love that trick. That can tire grab 360 is so stylish. But she put it all on the line right there. She knew that she was gonna be on that bubble, but and crashes in BMX, I mean, they are going to affect your score.
Yeah, she's sticking with that 84.33. I mean, the good news is she's still in the medal spot as of right now. You would have loved the breathing room, so she's going to have to nervously watch the rest of this unfold as we bring in Nikita Ducarroz from Sonoma, California for her 3rd and final run.
And this is a rider that can definitely get on the podium. She has the tricks for it, Angie.
I hope she gets that 5 this one.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge story. If that 540 comes around and she's able to ride away from that one, oh man, that is going to be absolutely huge. But so far so good. She's landing everything so smooth. Like all the X-ups that pop off of that top deck into the box jump. She did the X-up. But we are getting down to the moment of truth, I think, right?
Down to the final 10 seconds.
How is she going to approach this one?
Okay, last couple of seconds, she's gonna have to get to it. And is it gonna make it around? She does!
She's got the 540!
On the 3rd and final run, when the pressure's on.
Oh my goodness,
Nikita
what a
Ducarroz.
moment.
There's only a few girls in BMX doing 540 airs, so
yeah.
I love that it's such a staple for Nikita.
And I love that she was able to bring it at the first ever X Games, because she's been like known for 540. That's always been like Nikita's at the end of her run, like here comes the 540, and she was able to get it at the end. That was so epic.
Literally, with 1 second left on the clock, Salima Masakalen, Jason Ellis love it over there on the host set. Wow.
What's up with our eyes? That was insane.
It was like someone came over and tased us or something right there. I don't know what just happened right there. I'm going to have to wear sunglasses if that's going to be my reaction throughout the course of the weekend. So,
I just love that Nikita doesn't do 540s in practice and then just sends it mid-run.
Yeah.
In the very end of the run. So
Yeah.
that'll leave her in that 5th place position. So we bring back in Lara Lesman for her 3rd and final attempt, sitting in that 7th place spot with a 76 flat.
Ooh, she's getting a lot of speed
Wow,
here.
that's a whole lot of speed. Nice, she got the tuck this time. She's been battling, I think, that wind, and I think she got a little bit of a break right there where she was able to get that tuck no-hander. Beautiful.
First girl to jump the box backwards too, clean.
Oh, nice.
That took me a second on that react shot. I was like, is that us? What happened to our eyes?
Oh, wow, that was a really awesome crank flip. She does really lofty crank flips. Like, she actually, like, takes her feet off and, like, opens her legs up. Like, it makes it, like, look really, like, lofty, like, really stylish. Because usually when people do, like, you know, they'll keep their feet close to it and almost, like, follow it. So, that was a really good run, though. She should be really happy about her X Games performance.
Yeah, she looked like she was going a lot faster in that run.
And that's kind of been the key with the speed in this wind. So again, her best score is a 76 flat. Got her in 7th. Hannah Roberts still sitting in that top spot. No one's been able to touch that 90. She gets to ride last. Will it be a glory run? We'll find out. We still have a handful of riders left to go here. Perez Benegas sitting in that silver medal spot. Kim Muller holding on to that bronze as of right now. But again, we've got Maka Perez still to go. Will she shake up that top 3? So it all comes down to these last couple of runs here. Women's BMX Park here on the Sonic Park course. First time it's ever been contested here at the X Games. History being made. Day 1 of 3 out here, X Games Ventura 2024, presented by Sonic. You're looking at Natalia Diehm, sitting in that 6th place spot. Her best outing here today, a 77 flat.
Ooh, look at the air she's doing on that pool coping one. I love that she's getting that tabletop next flat. Really holding it up there too. Picture perfect. Ooh, look at that tuck no-hander air as well. Yeah, her air tricks. Oh, she's got the flare.
I was not expecting her to flare here. That was perfect too.
Yeah, this run, she is really turning it up compared to the first runs, but that's what you got to do. When you're on the outside of the podium, you need to take risk, and so far it is paying off.
Natalia is such a determined rider. She's had so much of a struggle with her knee. She's had so many knee surgeries and
too many.
6 of them, including 5 ACL ruptures to that right knee over the course of her career. I mean, that reaction just said it all.
Wow, look at this flare. The slow-mo is so good from this angle. She landed like right in that transition. Front end was down, lean was right.
She's stoked.
I think she's proud.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so curious to see what this score is going to be.
Yeah, as I mentioned prior, was that 77 flat. It's got her. It's only good enough for 6. As of right now, you need better than that 84.33. And that is what is up for grabs out here today. The first ever set of women's BMX Park X Games medals held by none other than Jamie Bestwick. You're making history, and you're going to be handed your medal today by an X Games icon.
I think it's pretty crazy. I was talking to him yesterday, and he said that he just retired from competing in 2019. He's such an inspiration.
Yeah, no, he is the best to ever do it when it comes to riding vert. Speaking of somebody who can air very, very well, besides Jamie Beswick, Perez is back on the course. Look at that transfer. Into another transfer. Do you see how high up she landed? The speed is unbelievable that she's able to carry through here. She just has such an amazing pump. And when we say pump, it's like when you land in a transition and you're able to pump into that and be able to get even more speed. That is such a skill that you need to master in BMX, and Perez has had that, I feel like, since she started riding. She's been able to approach every transition and just be able to bring whatever speed she needs out for the next setup.
And there is the buzzer on that pocket car. That'll do it. She is guaranteed a medal with 2 riders left to go and only one of them on the outside looking in. Perez is going to walk out of here with one of those X Games medals, in that case being held by Jamie Beswick.
That was huge. That was insane.
That T-Vog was beautiful.
It's scary. Like that transfer to go in like it's like a pocket kind of, and then she dips the back end like that. Wow, that was amazing.
So she had an 85, so that first run score is going to be the one that sticks. But again, I mean, you're walking out of here with the medal. You're making history. There's your current leader. That's Hannah Roberts. We'll see her one rider from now. This is Macarena Perez from Santiago, Chile. She's just on the outside. She's in that 4th place spot right now, the last person that can shake up the podium here in this 45 seconds.
Wow, she's taking full advantage so far. Look at the speed, nice transfer. Yeah, she's really commanding this course, and she's right on the outside. She just needs a little bit more. She needs to put one last thing on the end of her run, and she can be a part of the inaugural BMX women's medal ceremony. So this is going to be huge right here. Ooh, nice X up. I love how she carves around that bowl corner and then just carves right up to that transition. She's been doing that in her runs. Ooh.
Just catching that whip there.
Yeah, she landed like jackknife, but it turned her right into where she needed to go as well. So this is what it comes down to.
So again, an 83. At 83, good enough for 4th. You've got Kim sitting in that bronze medal spot with an 84.33. What do you think? Is this going to be enough?
This is going to be close. I think it's going to be really close. They both rode amazing. They both have their own styles.
Sorry, Angie, this is what I do. I put you guys on the spot sometimes. welcome to the booth.
It's good to be here.
Sometimes you got to walk that plank and make some predictions.
That's going to be tough for the judges, though. You know, Kim had a lot more tricks, but I feel like Maka had a lot more flow and style.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends on what they're feeling today.
Yeah, it's 2 different riders and 2 different styles.
It's not enough. She gets an 82, so she's going to have to stick with that 83. So that means the podium is set. And this is going to be a glory run. She claimed gold in that first round run with a 90. No one was able to touch it. So Hannah Roberts is going to take us out here on the Sonic Park course with a glory run.
Yeah, I think she's not going to hold back.
Nope.
No hander.
Like I said, Hannah just thrives in these, you know, contests.
Whoa!
Look out!
She's almost lost it there. That was a huge flare.
Bacon Shredder chiming in again. Hannah with an insane run. One word, epic. I got another word for you, Bacon Shredder, gold.
What an amazing day for women's BMX. And so happy for Hannah to be able to be the first gold medalist.
The entire field and everyone that worked over the years to make this happen. I mean, the excitement about this when the announcement was made, and just to see everybody yesterday in practice and just everyone talking about it, the support that they've had in the stands, you know, from the male riders that are over here. You know, you got Kevin Perez in the house, Ryan Williams over here cheering everybody on like we were talking about earlier. I mean, just Hannah Gold from Halo Crown, you're weighing in on the chat as well. I mean, this has been a long time coming.
It's incredible, though, because you know what? I'm so excited to see where it's going to go. This is seriously going to be such a big start for women's BMX and so much of a push I think we're going to see from this.
And I want to also say Angie has been a crucial part of getting women's BMX seen and heard, and I just want to thank you for putting all the effort in that you have over the years.
Oh, thanks, Scotty.
It's been an honor to have you in the booth to help us tell these stories, but we look forward to seeing you out there on the course in the future.
Hopefully next time.
So when it's all said and done, Hannah Roberts, a 5-time world champion, puts up a 90 flat in that first round, and it's good enough to hold up throughout this entire competition to net her the first ever Women's BMX Park X Games gold. We send it down one more time to Kristen Beat.
Hannah, taking this inaugural win, first of all, what does it mean to see women's BMX on this stage, and even more so to take gold in this competition?
I mean, women's BMX on this stage is insane. I remember when I was 8 years old, I was watching X Games. It's one of the reasons I started riding, so to be here competing and winning the X Games gold is a dream of mine, and this has been absolutely insane. I had the best time with all my friends, so I couldn't ask for anything better.
What do you want this win and this triumph to say to all the young girls at home watching like you were once?
Man, just if you find something you enjoy, stick to it. This is, I mean, I'm living my best life out here riding my bike, and I mean, I legit don't feel like I've worked a day in my life because I love it so much. So you find something that you love, just stick to it and put your passion into it. It makes a huge difference.
Hannah, congratulations, taking a monumental gold in women's BMX park at X Games.
I disagree. I say she's been working her whole life to get to this moment right here. Did you know, by the way, that August 10th in her hometown is Hannah Roberts Day? Just throwing that one out there. I didn't get to do that earlier on. Angie, as Scotty said earlier, it was an absolute pleasure having you in the booth here today. Thank you for joining us. Scotty, as always, it's a pleasure to be on this journey with you. That's a wrap for us. Hannah Roberts making history, walking away with the first ever women's BMX park gold.